All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. Once again, the morning was all about trade and tariffs, and we did get to hear from China, and pretty much all day throughout, it was a guessing game of what we are going to get from China. Now, there was two things. You woke up to retaliatory tariffs because, remember, there was a deadline there with Trump. We put small tariffs on China. They said it wasn't that big of a deal, and then they automatically put on their retaliatory tariffs. So even with that all in the morning, you were still able to go up, and the headline that was driving us down, then we go back up, then we heard from Trump, and it would drive us down. It was whether or not Trump and China and Xi Jinping were all going to get a phone call. Everybody was saying, yeah, it's going to happen today. And then they're like, no, it's not going to happen. And then we waited for a little bit. And then Trump said, I'm not in a rush. No hurry. No hurry at all. And then that's when we kind of chilled out. But again, we had retaliatory tariffs already in the morning, and the market handled that pretty well, all things considered. You saw how we woke up on Monday, but what I want to talk about now is what you need to watch for China. I'm going to give you one very simple thing. If we do escalate into a full-blown trade war with China, this one thing you are going to know when things are popping off. If we avoid that somehow, that'll be awesome. Then what I'm about to share in this video, at least in the first part, isn't going to matter to you. So I have that for you. I'm going to go over that. I already gave you a little recap of the day. We're going to talk about some of the other headlines and what we're going to be watching for tomorrow. Not too much on the schedule, so I think that's why we could talk about some of this broad stuff. And then I'm going to go over the data of today and some of the plays that I will be watching tomorrow. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/The Stock Market. We will see you there in the morning, baby. Run it.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
But right off the bat, this is something we talked about yesterday, and today was a weird mix of it. It was all about the headlines and the trade war and the news, but you could definitely tell that the reaction was much more diluted. I had like SPY puts left over from yesterday. I lost on those. We played both of these headlines. The news event that hit, and we got it early. I think I was a little bit too late on the play. It had to do with oil. When Trump was talking about Iran, we got the word of that within the first couple of seconds. A lot of y'all hit on that. That was really the big reaction to policy news first 100 days. Everything else about China, the reaction was really, really small. Even the way I played it today was a lot different. But when it was all said and done, this is something I told you to watch out for, especially with Trump. I mean, I don't know if he wants you to know what's going on. They're very well aware that the market is reacting. And even Pete Navarro today, we listened to it. He was kind of even criticizing the media in reaction to all this stuff going on. But I explain this a lot on stream. If you have not noticed, I don't know if you think this is useful info or not, but Trump is going at the end of the day on purpose. And if you don't know what I mean, you should go see it on stream. I want to know, it's even if you were not members, you were able to see it today because we got all of these headlines. He does these like closed door interviews, and then it goes live 30 minutes later. So I already have all the headlines. I mean, the market does too. I'm not the only one. We're going over them about 30 minutes ahead of where he goes live. That's something to keep in mind if you're watching out for this in real time. But point is, I think you're getting a different setup. I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, but there's one more part about the market before I explain this China thing. Don't forget, with all of this going on, we've had big reactions, we've had small reactions. Do you guys realize that we haven't really moved in months? I don't know how to explain this to you, so I think I will show you. But, there's the high-low ticker getting in your way. But do you see this? So, theoretically, you're at the same price as, November, a little bit above November. I mean, yeah, I guess November, but still, that's 4 or 5 months now almost. So, you tell me, but that's why it's eventually wait for the right set of info, and we haven't gotten a real development, even with DeepSeek and all of it, earnings. I mean, you're not really changing too much, even with Powell. So, right now, we're going to keep playing this game, but you really do want to pay attention for a notable move out of this range, either higher or lower. So keep that in mind. The other thing, again, even what today showed us, just the way the reaction that we've got, just remember, China and EU and those tariffs, it's still kind of fleeting. Trump is like letting them slide. He's discussing it, but you're not seeing the same dramatic spat like you saw with Canada and Mexico. And quite frankly, the market doesn't like the drama. And this is now part of what I want to share with you guys today, because you got to realize China's reaction, it was probably the most respectful reaction out of any of this, because, again, we put tariffs on them. Trump did what he said he was going to do, and they did what they were going to say they were going to do. Their only reaction was they thought that the tariffs weren't the full force. They didn't think that it was the maximum pressure campaign. They just said that was light, and they did what they did, and clearly everybody took it as them being restrained to avoid escalation. That was the general theme you got out of China's reaction. That's why even though we put tariffs on China today and they retaliated, K-Web went up. China did very good. So if you don't understand why, it's pretty much we did our symbolic little tariff. We didn't have any complaining or public theatrics, saving or losing face. And they retaliated. Again, we hit them small, and they hit us small too. They only retaliated on about 10% of our imports. It's about like $14 billion. I think that's double a Trump meme coin, but hey, don't get me started. But the whole point is, this is probably the calmest trade war reaction with one of the biggest countries so far, and it's kind of going decent, but that's why I'm saying it's still kind of fleeting, because are we going to go aggressive? Are we really going to get a deal, or are we going to get a trade war? So beyond everything now, this is what you need to look for. I'm telling you, I think this will be very useful. If we do get into a full-fledged trade war, how will you know? When China starts to tariff our farm products in agriculture, that is what the market will view as a significant escalation. They left that out today. They left out a lot of things, but this is always one of those worried. They even they're open to the enforcement mechanism, the buying, U.S. investments, the trade commitments, even TikTok. These are the other things that are floating around that I think Trump and China are trying to figure out. But if you really want to know in the future, if you see this headline, this might be an opportunity to react. If you start to see China giving tariffs on our farm products, and especially in large size, that's when you know we'll probably break out of the range at some point. So I hope that helps. Keep that in your back pocket. The other thing to watch for, we heard a little bit about it today. There was a couple of things, but Ukraine, all of a sudden Zelensky was talking about he could be open to talks with Putin. Some people brought this up, so this could be a positive tailwind in terms of the whole 100 days. We may hear about this towards the end of the week or next week. Keep your eye out for it. But the other part of today, there was Trump with Israel, and there was mixed reviews. I think he said about Gaza, we'll own it. And I don't know. Some people, there was, again, with BB. And again, Israel-Gaza is a very contentious issue still. A lot of people have been looking to see what Trump is going to actually do there. So you had that White House meeting here today. It was live even right before this, I believe. But I don't think it caused too much. We'll see. Like I said, the reviews are mixed so far. So there's already some wild sound bites. But on top of that, the only other thing we got today, and I think this could help you in the future, was crypto. We had David Sachs. He went live. He said strategic Bitcoin reserve, and he even said that's going to be one of the first things they work out once they start doing this little hearings to study it and all of that. And they kept saying stable coins, man. But here's what I want to tell you. I don't think the crypto headlines, even all the rumors from like inauguration till now, we got a rumor even on it today. We even got to make a little play on it, but it's like all the rumors are just so much hype and they always fade. You're not going to get any real crypto development, it looks like, until we get these crypto hearings. So I would be wary of those headlines moving forward. I don't think they're going to hit. You never know. Some might, but that's something that's definitely kind of been a pattern so far. But we do have a date and events to look for. So watch out for those crypto hearings. But that is key number 2. And then finally, today, this was a big part of the day. I think, again, don't forget Friday, you're going to get the non-farms, but we had jobs data, and it was bad. It was bad data that was good for the bonds. I still believe we're going to get a hot jobs report on Friday. The funny part about the jobs data today, it is the jobs opening, and we were just talking about whether or not we're going to see more accurate data, or I guess Trump data reflecting the government firings and all that. But take a note, on the JOLTS jobs openings, the biggest decreases was business services, minus 225,000, social assistance 180,000, and insurance 136,000, and arts, entertainment, and recreation actually went up 65,000, which was a little bit larger than usual. So that's on the job openings. It's not as connected to the non-farm. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Not strong enough to really write off. That's why I like the ISM, but I still think it'll be hot. But if I am wrong and you do get a non-farm that looks kind of like this jobs data, again, the JOLTS came in a lot lower than expected. It was like the second lowest in the last 12 months, I believe. So if you get that with the non-farms and we get a real big miss on the jobs, I think that'll be very bullish for the market. I know that may sound weird because if the jobs report is bad enough, people might freak out, recession, all of this. But dude, we've just been tweaking off of tariffs and even DeepSeek. I really think if the jobs number was low enough to really maybe bonds match up with gold a little bit, and gold is going crazy. Don't ignore that. But it's just if we do actually get a little bit of a freak out with the jobs and then that changes rate expectations, that may even kind of help things out a little bit. So you never know. We'll see. But all I'm saying for now, jobs data was bad today. I still think we're going to get a hot non-farms on Friday. If I'm wrong, that means the market, I think it'll probably take it well, unless it is a negative print. Then everybody will say recession. But then again, you never know. So we'll see where that leads. Other than that, though, tomorrow you get jobless claims, ADP private payrolls, and then I don't think there's too much that'll make us go crazy. And even Trump, we're still, again, China, EU, Iran, oil, some of these, like you said, and all these other things. We're going to get these developments, even Department of Education, but I don't think we're going to get more trade for the end of the week. But we'll see, and we will be there live. But now, let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, baby, play number one. I like this one. I already have it. We got this a while ago. It's right before or after the inauguration, but XLV, I think it's do or die. You could go look at the chart. It has bounced from that low again, healthcare, and where they've played in all of this. Again, even RFK and all of that. And that's even why I'm putting it up here. RFK passed through one of the parts. I think it was the Financial Services Committee, but I think Bernie Sanders voted against him. But if RFK passes through, that'll get rid of some. I mean, even if he didn't pass, I think it'll be bullish for XLV, but even then, so far, they've taken it pretty well. Even with a decent odds there, he said some things. So once we get out of that, remember, even with its crypto, healthcare, that's something I think we're missing right now. Because you're seeing the market move, and maybe this is why we're in a range, but they're going to get a lot more power once they are confirmed. So we're still kind of dabbling in la land. I know that may sound weird. We're getting more ideas and getting close to reality. And you've heard me say that a couple months ago. But in a weird way, even then, these people aren't confirmed yet. And it's going to be harder to do stuff. And that's why it's we got a lot of anticipation, but again, it's a long 100 days. So watch XLV. I already got a play. That one kind of came back. I think it's still down 20%. So if you could go find that play and take advantage of it. But I'm going to be watching that. Then play number two. I don't think I've said this in a while. I don't know. Trump's back. But Snapchat. Yeah. So did I put Premier? I meant Premium. So if the premium dies tomorrow, the earnings premium, I'd be down to flip some of these options. If it's a good enough value, don't force it. Again, these cheap options, even like Snapchat, if you're paying $10 for a stock that's $10 a share, you got to that's kind of expensive. Don't be fooled by the lower prices. So like I'm saying, if we kind of had a good earnings, this is the first earnings. They haven't really warned about something ridiculous in a while. They guided up. If the premium dies and there's an opportunity and market feels good, I think it'll be there, but I'm not going to force it. So keeping my eye out for that tomorrow on the post earnings, and then you could use all those other earnings on yesterday's watch list. Take note of some of those, and even Google and AMD post earnings because we had those today. So watch out for all of those. That's play number two. And then finally, this was the play that hit today, oil. And, dude, it's back to the lows of the year. So after some of the news today and the tariffs, all that, oil dumped after, again, remember, I felt like it was just at 80 or something, or 77. But it came back down, back to where it kind of started in January. And even today, the Iran stuff, and you saw that move, just don't forget. That's what I'm saying. Wait till we get some of the confirmations. But oil is absolutely critical to everything. Again, even Pete Navarro, Scott Bessent, all of them, that's it. This is, it's funny because I told you guys this in the past at other times, but when it's all said and done, I mean, I don't think you could watch this like a micro monitor. It's not like a heat gauge, It will at one point, but when it's all said and done, oil actually being like a good price stability and low price versus unstable and high price. That's going to be the make it or break it, I think, in a lot of policies, or what makes things more or less effective. So I would watch out for this. And again, I think today was a quick reminder. We've been watching the SPY, the headlines, but this one was the one that really hit off of that reaction today. So we'll see where that takes us. But other than that, I only made SPY put plays. This one, I was a lot of back and forth. I think I only lost like $10 or something because I was up and then I'd be down. I cut out of them. I go for the put. The news, again, it just was a lot more diluted. Got out quickly. Again, these are short-term options. And then I sold half of or 2/3 of my KWeb, made those free. And then I think that was it. So we'll see where tomorrow takes us. We'll have a couple of post earnings. Don't force it. Maybe a little wing it, but I don't know. I know the schedule is not as packed tomorrow, but maybe that opens us up for surprises. But Chad, that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, you're being judged on the factory and what your factory is capable of, not the output. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dude, you have so much potential. But, Chad, enjoy it at the highs, not the lows. I don't know if they feel me. Maybe I watch the Philo's there. You got no excuse. The Philo's there. Do you really want? But, Chad, drink that water. Stay hydrated and healthy. God bless you. I'll see you in the morning. And, Horna.